Ladies and gentlemen, Zilla Fatu just debuted on NXT and attacked Grayson Waller and Cruz Montana during their number one contenders match to see who will go on to face Tony D'Angelo at Heatwave for the NXT Championship. This is a completely raw reaction. It is currently 10:01. The show just ended for NXT. Yeah, welcome everybody to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the main event of NXT, a beautiful match between Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller that got abruptly interrupted by Zilla Fatu, which has been rumored to come to WWE for months now. So now it's official. Zilla Fatu's in WWE, and he's made his motive 100% completely crystal clear. He wants the NXT Championship. Did we expect this? I think so. I think I did. I did expect WWE to pull the trigger on him going to NXT first. But did we expect it to start like this? And our accusation proves right every time something like this happens. It was right whenever Big Cass returned. And now it's correct once again with Zilla Fatu debuting in the WWE on NXT tonight. And that is that every time a source like Fightful Select, a source like Wrestle Talk, a source like Wrestling Observer, every time one of these sources report that WWE has officially signed Zilla Fatu that night, they always debut or return on that show. And the point stands. It's just such a beautiful sight to see. I'm super excited to get into this video today. Welcome everybody to today's video. And I don't even know if I've already explained everything that's going on. But it's so crazy to see. You know, I've been waiting on this personally. I've been following Zilla Fatu on the Indies for about 2 years now, and it's been a super cool sight to see. You know, his story, going on the Chris Van Vliet podcast and completely, telling his story on that show, and kind of giving people an input on what actually goes on in his past and also what he's dealing with currently. And it was a big thing for a lot of people because everyone kind of clicked with what he was saying. And now, him going from the Indies, him going from working his butt off on the Indies especially. I mean, he's at shows that have 20 people at him. But then once he starts getting this amount of fame from being as good as he is, he starts getting in sold-out arenas, sold-out crowds. And Zilla Fatu is the one man, in my opinion, who really put indie wrestling to its top potential whenever he was on the Indies. And this is so cool. It's so cool. The fact that Zilla Fatu is in NXT is still mind-blowing to me. And I don't know if it's ever going to wear off, especially not tonight. I'm going to be mind-blown for the rest of the night. But the main thing is that I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect NXT or WWE in general to pull the trigger on Zilla Fatu right now. Now, obviously, we have been waiting for this for a good bit. But I was kind of confused after seeing him on the Indies and saying, hey, is he actually going to go over? But after seeing him do the moves for WWE 2K26, then coming over and people rumoring that he signed by WWE, the rumors just kept piling on. And as a fan, I genuinely was interested to see what WWE was doing by sort of teasing this thing where people are tweeting about it on social media. And now it is 100% confirmed. And now I want to not so much talk about that Zilla Fatu's in WWE, but what he is doing here. What is Zilla Fatu doing in WWE? What is his current motives? And what could he be winning in NXT before he takes that major step to go into the main roster? But we don't want to pump our brakes too soon. Because Zilla, I feel like, in my personal opinion, has a lot of work to do in NXT. And that is a personal opinion that whether you can agree with or you don't have to. But I think Zilla Fatu will leave NXT with at least 3 NXT title reigns under his belt whenever he leaves. And I say that because of how powerful that debut was. That debut in NXT was picture perfect. He showed everything that he's there for. He showed that Samoan spike, which it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful move, and that stretch whenever he does it, you just gotta see it. You know what I mean? But showing all the assets, showing the frog splash, showing the Uso splash, you could say, and then showing that Samoan spike. It is just so cool. Because not only does he attack the 2 top guys in NXT right now that are fighting for that spot to face the champion, and Cruz Montana versus Grayson Waller, but he's also making a straight statement to the champion and Tony D'Angelo, and now Tony knows exactly what he's here for. And if you know Tony D'Angelo and you've been watching him on TV for years on end, you know that he loves to keep a straight face. He don't get scared of a lot of opponents. He didn't even act this way whenever he faced Oba Femi. But the look that Tony D'Angelo had in his eyes after Zilla Fatu debuted was absolutely terrified. He looked terrified of Zilla Fatu. He looked like he didn't know what was going to be happening whenever Zilla gets his hands on him. And this aggression that Zilla just showed in this debut, I think will carry him so far in NXT. Because now we're seeing Zilla Fatu not only debut in WWE, but he is making this absolute beautiful first look that a lot of wrestlers don't get to get. A lot of wrestlers debut or return in WWE and don't get to show their full potential in their debut. Zilla just got to show all of his main moves, everything that people love him for, and the pop he got is something that you don't get every single day on NXT. It's not something you get every time someone debuts. And the way that the crowd just instantly, without second guessing, instantly hopped on to Zilla Fatu's side is something that he's going to need to have in this NXT run. Because I don't believe that with Zilla Fatu on this NXT roster that they can have him be a heel. Cruz Montana, face. Grayson Waller, heel. Tony D'Angelo, still a little bit borderline in my opinion. But looking at Zilla Fatu, now obviously all of our wishes and concerns are, will WWE keep him out of the bloodline? I think that's something we definitely need to look at in a separate video and fully break it down whenever he's later into his NXT run. But also, you look at Solo Sikoa's career, this is the same way he started out. So that's interesting too. Because Solo and Zilla look like they're taking the same path as of now, but I hope it doesn't lead down the same rabbit hole that Solo's going into as of now on Monday Night Raw by having to join the bloodline. So Zilla Fatu coming back on it, or debuting on NXT, I think is the biggest move NXT has made in 2026 by far. This is bigger than Narku. This is bigger by having the title be on Tony D'Angelo. This is even bigger than having the call-ups to NXT or to SmackDown and Raw. This is bigger than that. I feel like this is something that is bigger than booking at this point. I feel like this is something that the fans have been waiting for and thinking about for so long that it coming true and it becoming reality is something that people have waited so long for, and I think that's the reason for the pop. And I know we talked on it, but the aggression that Zilla showed, the want for the title that he showed in just this minute of a debut, and showing how much he wants it, he's going to win the title. And I don't care if it's a fresh champion. You have Zilla Fatu come into any brand with that debut, he's winning whatever title he's going after. Zilla is going to be a major threat. But the two men he attacked, Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller. Grayson had one of the best promos of 2026 so far by calling out the whole entire NXT roster and saying that the men are just completely soft and that the women are the only good thing going for NXT. Then we would see Zilla come in, wreck this whole parade of Grayson Waller wanting to get that mount of the top of the food chain and getting the title, getting to face Tony D'Angelo at Heatwave, and instead Zilla attacks him, attacks Cruz Montana as well, and makes his presence known. And now you're wondering, did WWE have Grayson Waller come back down to NXT just for this? Or is there a true meaning for Grayson Waller being back down in NXT and a higher purpose than just staying down there for a Zilla Fatu run? And this is a dangerous game NXT is playing, I will admit. Because not only are you having a brand new face to NXT fans who didn't watch TNA in Cruz Montana, a new name, a new face to some people, but also you're having a guy that was on Monday Night Raw standing behind the New Day for months on end, coming over to NXT, and it is a great face to see back in NXT, and a guy who is coming for a treasure that he never won in the NXT Championship. So not only is WWE playing a very scary game here by having a fresh face that none of the NXT crowd has seen before if they haven't watched the Indies in Zilla Fatu, but they're also having him come in and run in and attack two guys who are on a lot of momentum, are on a absolute skyrocket in NXT. Both Cruz Montana and Grayson Waller are both the two top contenders for the NXT Championship, and that's without a doubt. And after tonight, it looks like Zilla Fatu is the only man that has a chance. And it could just be recency bias. I could say that 100%. But the dominance that he showed just now is something that people will be talking about for the next month. It was such a good debut, such a good first impression, that I think that if WWE doesn't have him win a lot of things in WWE, it would be a true disgrace. I'm not completely sure on what the age is for Zilla Fatu. I don't know how old he is, but I don't think that matters whenever it comes to his run in NXT. I know that kind of played a factor in Solo Sikoa's NXT run, but as far as Zilla Fatu goes, keep him there as long as you want. And I don't care if the storylines get repetitive. The aggression that he just showed in his debut, WWE is going to keep that aggression, I feel like personally, throughout his entire NXT run, and I don't think we'll be able to get tired of Zilla Fatu. I think that what WWE just did, the performance Zilla just put on in the debut, and showing all these NXT fans what he's really made of, I think that that'll carry him this whole entire NXT run, and I think whenever he goes to the main roster, it'll be such a ginormous pop, and people will love Zilla Fatu so much that I think, or I hope at least, that he won't even be correlated with the bloodline. And if he does, he does. We can't really expect WWE to not throw him into there just because it's a new face to them, for them to add into the bloodline saga. But we know that he's probably going to get thrown into there. Do we like it? Some people do, some people don't. I'm not a big fan of it. But we all know if Zilla gets involved with the bloodline, it's going to be a banger month of professional wrestling, because we know that first month of a new bloodline story is always so good. But after that, it becomes stale and we don't like it anymore. But as far as Zilla Fatu goes, NXT Championship, guaranteed. NXT North American Championship has to be guaranteed. I would love to see Miles Bourne versus Zilla Fatu. And we see the potential so much in Cruz Montana versus Zilla Fatu, Grayson Waller versus Zilla Fatu, Tony D'Angelo versus Zilla Fatu, and maybe even Naruku versus Zilla Fatu. We know he's going to come back after Zilla probably wins the title. But I'm expecting NXT GM Robert Stone to make this Triple Threat number 1 contenders match official, hopefully next week, and if not next week, the week after. But Heatwave's coming up, and I would love to see a good build. I would love to see Zilla Fatu on the mic before Heatwave, because we all know that match is coming. And if WWE makes the decision to have it be Zilla Fatu versus Grayson Waller versus Cruz Montana versus Tony D'Angelo for the NXT Championship, I wouldn't be completely mad, but at the end of the day, we all know who's walking out with the title, and that's Zilla Fatu, and I'm not completely comfortable as of now to have Zilla Fatu completely bury Mike Santana, or Cruz Montana, and Grayson Waller just yet. I think Tony D'Angelo is at the point where he can lose a match. He can. And the dominance he showed against Naruku, it's going to be a huge win for Zilla Fatu if and when he wins. But let me know down in the comments. This is such a huge moment in professional wrestling. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Zilla Fatu is officially in NXT, and he made a huge impact. Let me know down below your official thoughts and what you think Zilla Fatu is going to be doing in NXT and WWE as a whole. And I will see y'all boys in the next video. Deuces.